Hey guys, it's Hope and I am here to do my October wrap-up. I read 9 books this month and so I'm super excited to tell you guys about the books that I read, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first book that I read this month was on recommendation from my coworker, and she actually let me borrow the copy of her book, and that was Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. This book followed a girl mechanic who lives amongst werewolves and vampires and all these like supernatural things, and she herself actually gets mixed up in it. She is considered a walker, and that is kind of explained in the book. But yeah, it was a really interesting story. I love the girl power element to it. She was a pretty awesome character. I think this series like continues on for many books. I want to say there's like 12 or 13 out right now, so I don't know when I will continue on reading with the series, but I definitely want to see what happens to her. I do believe I rated this book a 3.5 stars. I think maybe a 4 stars. It was actually really a great read, and yeah, I'm excited to continue on in the future. The second book that I read this month was also on recommendation from my mother, and it was An Invisible Thread by Laura Schroff. Now, this book follows it's a true story, and it follows an account executive. She's living in Manhattan, and she comes across a 11-year-old boy who is panhandling for some money so he can go buy food. It's a beautiful story. I think I did a full review of it, and I will link that down below in the description box. Feel free to check that out, but I did rate this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It will make you feel all the feels, and I definitely recommend this book if you guys are looking for a book that is true and about awesome friendship and love and compassion. It was great. So the next book that I read in the month of October was Just One Day by Gail Forman. I absolutely adored the beginning of this book. It took me forever to read it though, because it was about like 2/3 of the way through. It just got really slow, and the main character I found a tad bit annoying when she was home from Europe, and I didn't really like absolutely dive back into it and just really, became obsessed with the book until the very end. So the first third and then the last third of the book were absolutely amazing. The middle chunk was a little rough for me, but that is why I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of October was The Unbecoming of Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, and I really enjoyed this read. I can't believe it took me so long to read this book. I've had it on my Kindle for like the last month or two, and it was a great book to pick up and read in the month of October. It had some really crazy elements to it, and I did a discussion over this, and I'll link that down below, but literally the whole time I was trying to figure out, is this happening or is this all her imagination? Our main character, she suffers from PTSD due to an accident that she was involved in at the beginning of the book. And so you're trying to figure out if the things that are happening in her life, are they real or are they her hallucinations? And boy, this book sucked me in. I really did enjoy it. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to read the last 2 books in this trilogy. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat just thinking about it. And Noah Shaw, perfection. So this next book that I read in October, I feel like I'm going to be gushing about it for forever, and that was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. 5 out of 5 stars. If there were more stars to give, I would totally give it. I just recommended this book to my sister Haven, and she picked it up from the library. And I would recommend this book to anyone who hasn't read it, who likes the cutesy contemporary books. Yes, perfection. I think I said that before, but I really enjoyed this read. You could relate to the characters. I wanted to move to Paris like ASAP, and oh my goodness, the story with the friendships and kind of like the love element, it wasn't too much, but it was just right, and I cannot wait to read Lola and the Boy Next Door. I have that somewhere in a moving box, and I need to find it so I can crack that open, because I don't know why it took me so long to read Anna, but it's not going to take me as long as it did to pick up Lola. I also picked up Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and I wanted to pick up this book because I had read Gone Girl and Sharp Objects within the last year, and I really wanted to see what her other novel was all about. While it was a great book to read also in the month of October, it didn't completely suck me in like Sharp Objects did. I absolutely adored Sharp Objects. It was so twisted and just so crazy, and I still can't get over all the twists that happened in that book. She did amazing writing that. This book I did give a 3 out of 5 stars because I felt like the ending was just kind of meh. I mean, I was expecting something crazy and epic, and if you guys have read Gone Girl or Sharp Objects, you know what I'm talking about. For this one, I felt like the ending was a little bit of a cop-out. I mean, I can't say what it is because I don't want to spoil you, but that is why this book got a 3 out of 5 stars. I also read The Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, and I have been seeing Bloodlines on YouTube, like people really liking Bloodlines, and people have been talking about Vampire Academy, and I didn't know if I was going to enjoy these books or not, but I went ahead and I got the book, and I thoroughly enjoyed Rose Hathaway's character. She is not only beautiful, but she is smart. She's witty. I love her personality. I have officially decided that everyone needs a Rose Hathaway as a best friend. Like, her character was epic, and I loved her so much that I knew when I finished the book I had to rent the movie, and I did. And I know that it wasn't like 100% of a true, book to movie adaptation, but I loved seeing Rose's character come to life, and I watched it with my friend Lindsay, and we were just cracking up, and I thought it was great, so I went ahead and picked up the second book in the series, and I'm hoping to read that in November. Alright guys, the next book that I read was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I did like the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy more than this book, but I did enjoy this read because I could really relate to the characters. The family situation, it was 3 sisters, and I have 2 other sisters. I am the oldest, so I wasn't like exactly relating to the middle child who was our main character, but I could relate to the family dynamic of that. I love the relationship between her and her sisters. It is so realistic. I absolutely adored that aspect of it. Like Anna and the French Kiss, the love interest wasn't like super overwhelming. Jenny Han did a great job of not like completely like smashing it in your face when you were reading, but there was some like twists and turns that the book did have that I wasn't expecting, which I did enjoy, and the ending of that book was just so precious as well. So if y'all are looking for another good like cutesy contemporary read, I definitely recommend To All the Boys I Loved Before. To finish off this month, I just finished The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and I ended up rating this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. While I really liked it, I felt like the ending was so abrupt that I was confused, and some of the elements in the book I got really confused with. And I wish I could say more, but I feel like that would spoil it. But I felt like I really wanted more answers to why Gansey was after Glenwater, whatever his name was, and what the heck Neve was up to too. I'm sure that because this is a saga, and I think there are 3 other books, with the last one maybe just coming out within the next week, then I know those answers will, or those questions will probably be answered. But yeah, overall, I loved the characters. I think Maggie Stiefvater did a great job at the characterization of the books and the people. I really felt like when I was hearing from different people's perspectives that I was looking, through their eyes at this world that she built, and I really, really did like that. So guys, those were the 9 books that I read this month. Let me know below what your favorite read was, and I'm sure I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye!